I married a mistake choosing the wrong girl. How do I remediate? A year ago, I was single and talking to a few girls. However, two of them stood out. They are both really pretty. First one, a blonde girl with Polish and German descent, blue eyes, pretty face, slim body, big boobs, etc. Second, a Venezuelan girl with Italian origin, dark hair, green eyes, nice curves, very sexy. In terms of looks, they are pretty much equal even though quite different at the same time. I went for the blonde girl because she seemed like she had her shit together. She has a degree and works as a teacher. The other girl is still in school but seems like she doesn't really know what she wants to do with her life. I cut off the Venezuelan girl off even though she often reaches out and focused on blonde girl, now my official GF. 2 months ago, I moved in with blonde girl. I was living in a different city and was moving back to my hometown where she lives, and she insisted that I just moved in with her so we can get our relationship more serious. But man, my life has been really miserable with her since moving in. She is controlling, doesn't want me to do anything by myself. We share no intellectual interests. I am the kind of guy who likes to discuss all kinds of ideas, but she won't even engage in any of them. All she cares about are her dogs, getting married, and buying a house. Her Instagram is literally made of these 3 things. At first I thought those things were great characteristics, but the more time I am with her, the more I realize that she doesn't really have a personality outside of those things. If I am watching anything that is not some stupid Netflix show, she will make me feel like I am stupid. I am the kind of guy who watches history documentaries, science, learn new languages. So often it feels like I am dating someone who is not intellectually stimulated as I am by this type of stuff. On top of that, she makes me feel like I am walking on eggshells. I moved into her place. Big mistakes. I feel like I have to be extra careful to not do anything to make her unhappy. She gets mad about the simplest thing, and because of that I can't see this place as my home. She is also insisting that we get married within a year, have kids within a year, and buy a house. Fine, but now all of this is in doubt. For context, I make good money. As a software engineer I make about $140K at my normal job and $230K in a side business that I own online. So I can move out easily. But I always struggle from attachment and feel bad for leaving. Her parents like me and I wonder what they gonna say. The other girl on the end, I always had so much fun talking to her. She had different interests and genuinely showed interest into what I am into. She reaches out the other day and still talk to me like she would want to be with me. I feel like I make a mistake choosing my GF. I know the grass can seem greener on the other side. But I am really not happy here. Any advice please? Comment. Maybe next time focus on the person rather than what they look like. Take more time to actually get to know who you're marrying. It sounds like you married a stranger based on her appearance. You need to be fair to everyone involved and make adult choices from now on. It's not fair to your wife for you to stay married to her, and it's not fair to the other girl if you're emotionally cheating on your wife with her. Probably a troll post. Too easy. This is a really weird way to go about choosing a partner. You seem like a weirdo lol. Leave immediately. In this whole conversation I have not seen one word about love. This is not the way. With time, things will be worse, not better. What do you see as a future with her? You're married, 2 kids, she controls your finances, in 5-6 years divorce you, taking half plus the house and the kids, going back to a party lifestyle which you will fund. So the first dozen characteristics you mention about these girls have to do with their looks. You move in with your girlfriend before really getting to know her personality. It didn't seem to bother you at first that you shared no common interests. She may have insisted that you move in, but you agreed and did it. Now that you regret it, you should be telling her this. Stop stringing her along, and for God's sake don't marry her or have children with her because you lack the integrity to end a relationship you regret being in. Do the right thing and end this relationship. You made a poor decision, don't waste more of this woman's time. You don't love her and certainly don't even like her. Get out now before you end up married with kids and it being 10 years down the road of misery, because you couldn't had a backbone to leave. Also leave the Venezuelan woman alone too, once you do end the relationship. Figure out what you want in a partner, and next time you should get to know someone better than just making judgment calls about them. Stop focusing on looks, and find out who they really are. And then you get with the other girl and then get upset because she doesn't have ambition or she's some sort of slob. Next story 2. My long-distance girlfriend made plans for a friend to stay with her for a couple of days the night of our first ultrasound. My GF and I are long distance, so when I go to visit I stay with her and vice versa obviously. We're pregnant, and we're supposed to go in for our first appointment on October 10th. While talking yesterday afternoon she casually mentions that her friend is coming to stay with her 10/10ths and 10/11ths. We have a wedding the week before, so I respond with okay, I'll go home on 10/9. At this point I've known for 2 weeks that we had this appointment, but I wouldn't think the day we have our first OB appointment she'd make plans to have a friend stay over, so I spaced on that. She responds with, well, I have my appointment on 10/10. So I'm like, oh yeah, of course. Well, what am I supposed to do after the appointment? I didn't feel right about / was caught off guard and didn't know how to feel about it. So I basically just said we should move this to another week. I asked her to call me later as I started to feel gross about it. We're moving our first OB appointment because her friend called and asked to stay with her for a couple of nights because she's in town for a wedding. It feels to me like priorities are off. We had discussed telling our families after this appointment, not immediately after, but still like getting on the same page, so we're both communicating to our families as a team/unit cause they are religious and traditional. She ended up mentioning that she tried to move the appointment to the Friday, 13th, of that week. Which shocked me because like it's Sunday, no doctor's offices are open, how long have you know about this? To which she responded Friday. So I feel like an afterthought. This isn't the first time she's done something to make me feel like that, considering she made these plans not considering me or the weight of the appointment. She also made the decision and actively tried to change the appointment without talking to me to see how I felt about. I want to clarify, not ask for permission. Just want to feel like a partner in this versus we have our appointment and now my friend needs a place to stay, so you don't gotta go home but you can't stay here. Long story short, she's upset that I had feelings about this. Feels like I attacked her emotionally, and that it's silly that I'm mad about moving a stupid appointment and wants space. To make matters worse, she's off her depression meds since they aren't good for the baby, so I'm seeing a completely different side of her with pregnancy hormones and no antidepressants on board. What can I do here? Comment. I don't understand why the world needs to stand still on the day of a routine ultrasound appointment. If it was the day she was going into labor, then sure. But it's just an ultrasound. What difference does it make if a friend is spending the night? Has she said you can't stay over because her friend is there and now you're worried about where to stay? If not, I don't see the problem. What if she had a roommate? Would you expect them to leave town for your ultrasound? Try to relax or you're never going to be able to handle fatherhood. You have a long road ahead of you. I reread this multiple times, and am I missing something? Why does it matter if you stay with your partner and a friend stays there too? You have the whole week together before that, and I'm sure you'll have a spot in bed with her, you won't be on the floor. Sorry, first thought after reading long distance and that she is being difficult. Are you sure the child is yours? Get a test made. Don't be a fool. It's just an ultrasound, why she should not let friend stay? What if she had dental appointment? First ultrasound, hardly an event, mostly needed to see if pregnancy is non-ectopic. Well, connect as a couple, you can do a date, a trip, a talk. Ultrasound is just that, confirm there is a pregnancy and it is in right location. First one might not even have heartbeat. Really, you imagine a lot, but that is on par with a dentist appointment. Go to lunch together as a couple, or buy silly bib or something. Next story 3. What am I supposed to do after my friend said he likes me? He is also the ex of my sister. Today my friend me that he likes me, but he's the ex of my sister and I feel really disgusting. I don't like him back and I feel disgusting. So this guy used to date my sister for around 8 years. It was a very complicated story. He cheated several times and was very toxic. When I moved in with my sister 2 years ago, I met her boyfriend and we became very good friends. We had a lot in common and we had a lot of fun together, partying and talking. My sister eventually broke up with him, but told me that we could still be friends and that she didn't care. She still cares for him, but she couldn't see any future with him. We continued to be friends, but I took my distance from him for a while because he was partying too hard for me, doing drugs and so on. He was also very depressed and even called me one time to tell me he wanted to KHS. I didn't talk to him very often and he distanced himself. After a while we started hanging out again, and for the past 2 months we've been hanging out at least 2 times a week. After a while I had this weird feeling that his hugs became a bit longer and that he touched me more than usual, and it made me very uncomfortable, But I felt scared to tell him and that he would felt hurt because I thought of him in a wrong way. So I ignored my gut feelings. But today I was at his place the whole day. I have a big crush on his roommate, 21M, so when he got home we were talking a lot and laughing, so my friend got sad and left. We tried to hype him up and decided something. But in the middle of the game we were laughing a lot and out of a sudden he left and told us he didn't want to play and told us to continue without him. That we should have fun. I followed him to another room to talk and he was almost crying and just hugging me but didn't want to tell me what was going on. At the end he told me that he liked me and that he has liked me for 2 years. I felt disgusted, but he told me that everything that he did was because he cares for me and not because he wants me to be with him. I told him that I didn't feel the same and I apologized that I won't develop any feelings either. I asked him what he expects from me now. He told me that he wants to continue being my friend and that he doesn't want me to take distance and that he regrets telling me. I told him he shouldn't worry and that everything is going to be okay, and I left after hugging him. Now I don't know what to do because I want to continue being friends with him, but I also don't want to see him again in my life. He knows me since I was like 13 and it disgusts me to think about the things he thinks of me. Like he was with my sister, and I'm way younger and I feel like a baby because I don't know what to do because I've never been in a situation like this. Everything is just so weird and I don't know what to do. I feel disgusting and I don't want him to give me more hugs, but I really care for him and I don't want to hurt him. Comment. Just cut ties completely if you are uncomfortable. It's okay to do that. Block him. You're going to have to distance yourself and give up any notions of dating his roommate. If he presses for a reason, just point out that 1, he's your sister's ex, and 2, he's 27 and you're only 21. You can't continue being friends with him because he's shattered the platonic veil and you'll never be able to trust him ever again. He's not a real friend. A real friend wouldn't be perving on you or putting you into such an awkward position. Just cut him out of your life. He was terrible to your sister and he just seems like a trash person all around. Tell the roommate that you are interested in him to see what happens. If he isn't into you, just close that whole book and throw it away.